Hey everyone, welcome to this week's tutorial on Laravel and Vue.js. So for those who don't know how to use Vue.js within Laravel, this is a tutorial to show you how to actually configure Vue.js within Laravel so that you can start using Vue to create single page applications within Laravel and utilizing Laravel as an API. So before I get started, I just want to say if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so now and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of these tutorials. So basically I've created a simple Laravel project here. So it's the base Laravel project. When you run Laravel new test project, for example, this is the project that you'll end up with. So before we get straight into configuring it, just for those who don't have Laravel installed, it's quite simple to do. You'll just do sudo apt-get install and you'll get Composer. If you are using Windows or Mac, I believe you'll use Homebrew to install Composer, and on Windows you will use the FAR file provided on the Laravel website. Once you've done that, you can do Composer require Laravel /install or installer, and then you'll have Laravel CLI, much like this. Then you can go ahead and just create a new project. I just called mine test project like that. And then once you've done that, you're going to need Laravel UI as well. So you'll have to run Composer require Laravel /UI like that. And once you've done that, you'll have access to PHP Artisan UI, which allows us to create boilerplate for Vue, React, and even Angular projects within Laravel's ecosystem. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a Vue here, and you'll see that it's now created some scaffolding. And if you look inside resources.js, you'll see a component, just an example component, app.js, where it's initialized example component, included example component.vue, and it's registered the app on a tag which has an ID of app. So here's what we're going to do. We're first going to just go ahead and run npm install npm run dev just to compile this initially so that we have JavaScript available. So here is something that you might not know, is if you had to go and include app.js, which you're going to need to be able to register this app, you won't be able to do it unless you have done this step. So just to show you that, you can go ahead and get rid of all this HTML for this project, and we're just going to keep div id equals app for our JavaScript basically, which is registering Vue on this ID. Then if we use example component, which we want to bring in, then we'll just add it like that. But now what we need to do for this to actually work is we need to include that app.js. So we'll do script source, and we'll use the handlebars and the helper function called asset from Laravel, and then we'll include app.js /app.js to be able to initialize Vue. So this won't work if you haven't run this step, because there will be no app.js available in the JS folder, which will go to this public JS folder. So first you'll have to run this npm install and npm run dev. So just to show you something else, in webpack.mix, I want to go ahead and add a special little mix in here to help us with hot reloading in our application. So that's very simple. All you'll do is just put mix browser sync, and you put in the local IP address 0.1, and we'll be doing that on port 8000. Save that off, and then if you do npm run watch now, you'll see that it's going to deploy our application and give us a browser window which will be auto-synced when we make changes to our Laravel project. So build successful, and you'll see that we have our example component, and I'm an example component, so that is going to be coming from our example component.vue over here. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to just go ahead and drop Bootstrap into our project so that this can look a lot better than what it is, and we'll just go ahead and just build out basic Vue little logic to just improve on this. Here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to go grab the CDN URLs. The first one is the style sheet, and I'm going to get rid of all these styles in here. So just going to get rid of this. I think I'm going to keep the font, so I'll just put that CDN in here for the style sheet, and then the JavaScript will put down here just before body ends. Okay, so now you'll see that this page immediately changes. Now we're going to just create some logic in here. So we'll create a data set for ourselves, and we just do that by returning a data set, and we'll call it items, and it's going to be an array of some multiple items. So we're going to give it an ID so that we have a key, and we'll just do name, and we'll just call this test1, and then we'll create ID 2, and we'll just call this test2. So simple, save that off, and now we should be able to get data back. So here's what we'll do. We'll just change this to item list like that, and inside the card body we'll just go ahead and just do a loop for card text. So we can go ahead and just create a div, and div.card/text, and we can go and just get rid of this I'm an example component. You'll see that will now disappear. So what we'll do here is just do a loop, so v4 for a Vue loop, and we'll take all items in items, and we'll use the handlebars to display the item name. Then we need to provide a key as well, which is usually just a unique identifier, and we're going to use item.id. Let's save that off, and you'll see that we have test1 and test2. Resize this, you can see that it's a nice little box, basically a card, and it's got 2 items inside of it. So basically, guys, that's how you can set up Vue inside of Laravel and just do some nice little hot page reloading as well while you're testing your code and just writing your app. So I hope this has been useful, and if you liked it, please like below and consider subscribing if you want to learn more about development in general. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next video.